Parshas Achrei Mos Kedoshim. Everybody knows that in Parshas Achrei Mos and Kedoshim, at the end of the Parsha, there's a listing of the forbidden relationships. And the Torah introduces the forbidden relationships by saying that I don't want you to conduct yourself like the people of Egypt and Eretz Canaan conducted themselves. They were very immoral. That's not what you should do. So, Perek Yudches, Pasuk Gimel, K'maisi Eretz Mitzrayim Yeshavtem v'lo sasu, u'K'maisi Eretz Canaan sheni mevi'eschem shama lo tasu v'chukaseim lo seilechu. And don't follow their culture. Don't follow their activities. Es mishpatai tasu v'es chukasai tishmeru l'lechus behem ani Hashem Elokechem. My laws you should do. My laws you should keep. To follow them, I'm Hashem your God. That's Pasuk Daled. And then very strangely, Pasuk Hey slightly changes the order, but is a repetition. Ushmartem es chukasai v'es mishpatai sheyaseh osam adam b'chai behem ani Hashem. Same thing. You said before, Mishpatai tasu v'chukasai tishmeru, ushmartem es chukasai v'shpatai asher yaseh osam. Same thing. So why is it repeating it? So the Netziv points this out, and he says there's a repetition here, and what's the purpose of it? What's it adding? The pasuk also says v'chai b'hem, and we learn from here the law that there is that v'chai b'hem v'lo shiamas b'hem. When it comes to all the mitzvahs, except for the big three, except for Kiddush Hashem, that the din is that if your goyim say, we'll kill you, or don't do the mitzvah, or transgress this aveira, for all things except for Avodah Zarah, Gilui Arayis, and Shvichas Damim, you say, I'll do the aveira. Why? V'chai b'hem. It says v'chai b'hem. We learn from this pasuk. Why is it brought in over here? Why is this the place where the source of that din applies? Rashi says that the v'chai b'hem means olam haba. But that's not the drush of Chazal. And somehow, that doesn't seem to be the simple pshat of the pasuk. Now, the first pasuk is obviously come to say, Goyim have their culture of life. That's not for you. You keep my culture. You keep my laws and my chukim. But pasuk Hey, which is a repetition, says in the Netziv, what has come to tell me? Says in Netziv, in this situation, chukosai does not mean those laws that don't have a reason. Says that's not what it means when it's chukosai and mishpatai coming together. So I'd like to suggest that we find chukosai to mean a regimen of life. We find the pasuk says lechem chuki. Lechem chuki means my daily regimen of life, my daily ration of bread. So that chuki means something that is a schedule, something that is a way that is set in life. I think that perhaps that's what this second pasuk is saying. You don't want to have the immorality of the other nations. That's what it says in Pasuk Daled. We don't want to get involved in the way of life which is so far away from a way of musar and a way of upright conduct. That we don't want to do. But what do we do? So the Torah says, what you do is that Pasuk Hey, Ushmartem es chukosai ves mishpatai. You follow a way of life. The Jewish people have a way of conduct in life which is regimented in everything that we do. And that's what it means. Chukosai umishpatai. You start with having what we do, how we act, how we conduct ourselves. And we have a set thing that we have to do with ourselves. And mishpatai, and then we have a legal system of conduct and how we're supposed to be upright in all of our activities and interactions. But the way that we maintain that is through v'chai b'hem. We live with our mitzvahs. We have that regimentation as part of our lives. Says Rav Cheskel Abramsky, how do we have the Torah and everything about Torah being such a constant part of our lives? Because Klal Yisrael is different than any other nation. Because Klal Yisrael lives with a shidduch between limud and ma'aseh. V'chai b'hem, it becomes your life. Because that's what you talk about. Because that's what you learn about. That's what you discuss. That's what you're involved in. And because that's what you're involved in, that's what you do. So that all of life becomes encompassed through a way of Torah. And that changes the whole regimentation of life. Don't try just not to be immoral. That's too difficult. Be a Yid. Be a Jew. A Jew who's v'chai b'hem. That my whole life is centered around this way of living. And then that's what will guarantee that there's an elevated way of life, that everything we do is so totally different than that which is known by all the other nations of the world. That's Klal Yisrael. Good job.